Well, hello there. Today we're doing something a little custom, a little by request. We're going to attempt to rebake the W900 after we remove some parts from it. So let's get started. We have a mod that somebody is working on. So we've created our base path here. We gotta open the truck. The reason why we're doing this is because he's removed a few parts, and now the bake from SCS doesn't look right. So if we remove the AO and then rebake, hopefully we can get it looking reasonable. It's more of a test video than anything else, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let's go into material. Cool. Let's go down, remove our collisions. Get rid of shadow pieces here. Okay, so we don't want that. Turn off the camera as well. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's... There we go. Let's see what I'm doing. Okay. You want to turn off the camera right here. That restricts it rendering to assist with your bake. Otherwise, it's going to be black. So wherever that shadow piece touches. So that's why we got to turn all these off. So there's another shadow piece. There should be another one here somewhere. There we go. If you don't want to do anything with the one of the cabins, if you only want to do, if you don't want the chassis in the way or anything like that, easiest way to do that is to go up here and change to the chassis that you want. So we'll turn off chassis short. So we just want to deal with the, let's start with cab A. And so basically anything that's a model that's off in this window, you want to turn off the rendering. Because even though you can't see it, Blender still knows it's there and will make shadows according to whether the camera part is on or not. If I could click correctly, that would be helpful as well. Alright, so these are just nodes, so those don't matter. Alright. So we've got everything we need here. I believe this is the shadow. No, that's not the shadow. There we go. So that was already off from before, so that's good. Alright, so now this is what our model looks like in UV0. So I'm not going to change any of the template really. Well, this isn't really even the template. The templates are here, but because as soon as you start changing that, then you get especially because this is it also has an end map. Granted, that's on UV3, so it doesn't really matter that much because it's different. So, I mean, we can get away with redoing this. So you could do like this and then bake it that way. And then just make sure that the base is on 0 like it was before. Because it's really not going to interfere with anything else. But just for the sake of this, we're going to not do that, just to see how it looks. So we'll do, we'll bake this at 4096. And we'll do cab. Well, this is really, base cab, I guess you could call it. Sorry about that. So we're going to see what happens here. I have a feeling that this may not work like I want it to, but we'll just we'll entertain ourselves here for a second. So I've called it base cab TGA. Remember, everything needs to be saved as a TGA. That's how you export stuff in this. Alright, so let's do this. And we will normalize. So you can see it down here filling in. It's going to take a while because it is big, so I may cut the video. See what they've done with this. Well, what they do with all their trucks is basically it's just one-sided in this. So it's only making this side, we'll say. And then the other side it just kind of copies over. But I don't know if Blender can handle that sort of operation, so we're going to see what happens. Okay, so that image is saved. So obviously it's not going to look any different right now, but let's change the base from car paint to this. And we will do where is it? Okay, so this is ours. So you can see the difference. When you do this. We'll just switch it real quick here again. So you can see how much darker it is. Yeah, there's a little jaggedy bit here. I don't know what that's all about, but like I said, this is going to be super trial and error. You're going to have to do, I'm going to guess that you're going to have to Control P maybe, and then bake it like that, and then for each part create a new sub material, and then once you do that you should be able to, you know, because the template of the truck is going to be under paint job, which is UV1, and we're not touching UV1, we're dealing with UV0. So that's not going to affect any paint jobs. So that's, you know, obviously that's important. So we'll see how this looks here. Because obviously we have to do the back here as well for the cab A part. And I'll show you what I mean by creating like a new sub material. It basically copies all the same information, you know, with the nmap, with the paint job. Because again, the UV layer 1, 2, and 3 we're not touching. So all you have to do is export it as such, and you'll be fine. So I may cut this video again because this is going to take a little while again. I've always found that editing the UV, or not the UV, excuse me, the SCS AO kind of really screws up the model, and like the paint jobs look weird for some reason, just because of how they, however they make it. It must be in Maya, because that's the program that they use natively for all their modeling and texturing and stuff. Blender Tools is just an extension of that for the free software that is Blender. Okay, so we're saving that image again. Just overwriting it, no big deal. So, see, that looks pretty nice actually. I'm digging that right there. Alright, so now you can see the back is all kind of screwy. And there's a shadow piece we gotta get rid of. Aha, that's why. See how this is darker on the cab here? There's a shadow piece in the back here. No, I turned it off. I forgot which one I clicked. Anyway, this one. So see in here, this is all shadow. So because that's all shadow here, it's taking into account, even though it's outside. You know what I mean? Like what we're doing is outside of that, but it's still, it maintains that that's a shadow piece. So now that that's turned off, we can do this again. Ha 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 ha. At any rate, that's what you need to do. Do that over again. So now, this back piece, right? It's the same mat number as this, right? So it's 002, excuse me, 0002 W900 car paint AO. Well, we can't have that because that's what that looks like. That makes it all funky because it's reading off of this image, but we don't want that. So basically we press plus. So now we've created car paint AO 001. So now we can change this image here. So if I do this, and then we're on UV0, I'm gonna make a new. So this is cab A. Do this. So that doesn't quite look right to me, so let's do this. There we go. Now what if I do this? That's too close together. Alright, so now we're going to bake this. So save this as image TGA, remember? Save. And then I usually assign it right now. So now it'll show up black, obviously. I'm going to go back here to bake. Normalize bake, good. Now when you bake this, obviously it's going to get the lights on the back and the reflectors, and you should see some AO from these handles and stuff like that, so that's what we're looking for. Now you don't have to bake these in 4096, but that's what I would do. Just because it's a truck, it's supposed to look good. It's an SCS model. They put a lot of time into, you know, making the AO look good. So there's no reason why you shouldn't continue that. They just use a different method. So. So you can see here, there's the handles here. There's your coil, your wire connectors. Okay, it's done. Save. So now, if I go like that, you can see that AO right there. See, that's a little bit darker right there. Let's actually change the base paint again. There we go. So you can see that nice slight shadowing there of all the important bits. Right? So there you go. So now now that you have A done, go back up here. So we're done with A. Go to B. Right, so B. Right, so this is B. So this is what we're dealing with. And you can see it's reading off the first. Right, it's reading off of base cab, right? So we want to create a new one, so we press plus. So that's going to give us 002 in this case. And then we are going to make a new one. This is going to be cab B. Save as image, TGA. That's going to be all black. Beautiful. We're going to do that. That's actually looking pretty good. I'm going to leave it just like that. And then we're going to bake that. No objects to bake to. How dare you suggest such blasphemy? Okay, so see how this is not... These are all off from before, so we got to go through now. And everything that's off now, we got to turn off, and things that are on, we need to figure out what they are and turn them on. So that's fine, that's chrome. That's what we're working on. Those are the lamps. It's the glass. That's fine. It's the cable in the back. Alright, so we're good. Now we can start this. And bake. So basically this is what you're doing. Going through every cab, every model that you want to change, changing that initial base piece, remembering to normalize your bake here. Otherwise it's going to come out very gray and look kind of funny. And then once you take care of that, you're basically repacking the mod that's going to point to your new AO pieces. And then once that's done, you can load it into game like you did before. And all your paint jobs should work still because they're relative to the AO 2 and 3, I believe it is. And you won't lose your rivets because Blender Tools takes care of all that. So let's just see what this final bake looks like on this piece. Alright, that's it. It's done. Save that image. There you go. So you get a nice bake on the back. You get the angled pieces here. It's looking really good, actually. So you get the nice shadowing under here, and in the back you get the shadows from the grab bars, and of course from the wire, airlines, connectors, etc. All right, so that's how to change the bake. Remember to write a TOBJ for each of those, and then you're going to export as per usual to the default path of the W900, and all the files will follow you there, and then check it out in game. That's basically that's the gist of it. I don't really like this. I don't know what that is. I wonder if it has to do with the undo. It's interesting. Somehow it has to do with the inside. Wow, it baked that backwards even though it's the right way. That's very interesting. I'd probably redo this. I'd probably do this like I did on the other pieces. Make sure it gets baked right. And remember to turn off the cab that you're not working on, because otherwise you're going to get overflow from that one, which won't, it's not going to show up. I mean, it's going to show up on this cab when you go to cab A, and then it's going to be dark right here, but that's going to be open on the back, so there's no, it's just going to look silly. So let's do, this was B, right? Okay, so let's go A. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Turn that off. This is the shadow piece. Yep, so we don't want that. Alright, so let's rebake this again and see what she looks like now. And remember, anytime you do this, make sure you're in the right UV. Don't just go hairy-carry clicking on everything. Because invariably you'll change UV3 and then it will look like hell in game because UV3 is where the rivets are or whatever happens, and then it's kind of hard to get back unless you go back from the stock SCS truck and start all over again. And nobody really wants to do that. But as you can see, by the way, I forgot to show you, this is Daniel's creation. He has taken off the turn signals here. He's going to use them in the headlight base. He's doing some super custom work, so it's pretty cool. Just giving him some ideas on how to continue. especially, you know, with the bake, with the stock bake, you get that shadow on there, and it looks silly because there isn't that light anymore. So you got to rebake it if you want it to look right. So that's why we're doing this. You know, same with everything else in the model, really. If you remove these lights or something, there's just going to be holes there. And that doesn't really look good. You have to rebake it. So it looks like this is coming along pretty well. I think it has to go to 25% or so, maybe a little bit more before it starts, or finishes, excuse me. So yeah, so that's done. Let's see. So now we're gonna go here. So there's still some odd colorization over here. I don't know exactly why that is. It might be because the interior and exterior models are so close to each other. So it thinks that it's giving, the inside of it is giving shadow to the outside. So you may have to get even more creative. Maybe removing the hood, separating the hood from the model and doing it that way. But yeah, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it, but that's how to rebake it. Anyways, just changing the materials by pressing the plus button. And then you get this. If we go back to truck. And this is B. So there you go. So there's A, rebaked. There's B, rebaked. That's it. So give it a shot. Hopefully it works out for you. Thanks for watching this, guys. We'll see you for the next one.